Welcome to the Performance Enhancing Podcast. It's like steroids for your brain. A podcast for people looking to live life at their peak potential. Chock full of real-world tools and knowledge that you can apply in your life today. By providing you with a lens into the lives, beliefs, practices, and actions of those who are already living extraordinary lives, the Performance Enhancing Podcast will help you shift your mindset or create that change in your daily rituals and habits so you can explode with success in the areas of life that are most important to you. So get ready for another dose of Performance Enhancing Podcast with SatoriPrime. Here's your host, Ilan Ferdman.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Performance Enhancing Podcast with your host, Ilan Ferdman. And again, today we'll be looking at part 2 of my interview with Ali and Michelle, the creators of Soul Camp. So if you missed part 1, then you definitely missed one of the most high energy, passion-filled interviews I've done in a while, let alone the first time I've actually interviewed 2 people at once. But more importantly, these 2 girls are putting on events that involve bringing fun and play in order to enhance your effectiveness, not only in life, but in business. So in this part, we're actually going to talk about some of the things, or some of the hurdles, I should say, that they experienced while trying to put on the first Soul Camp event and how they persevered through that. So that's really interesting. And we're going to delve a little bit more into who some of the speakers are and what some of the benefits that people are truly getting from Soul Camp. So I hope you went back and already listened to part 1 and enjoy part 2. And again, this bubbly energy and passion was definitely oozing out of the speakers. So I hope you enjoy. And until we speak again, have an amazing, amazing day. Beautiful. So let's talk a little bit, go back to how you guys put this together. So we spoke a little bit about the fear that you had to go through. What were some things or roadblocks that you hit along the way in actually putting this together? Because it sounds to me like you had a lot of yeses, but I'm sure along the path there were just monumental things that could have derailed this whole process. Can you guys speak about maybe 1 or 2 and what got you through them?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is actually at camp. So Ali and I, and again, this was a huge lesson for us. Ali and I planned the menu with a company called Healthy Cooking Camp, which is amazing. And it was all it was healthy, style camp food. And so it was all different vegan and vegetarian and gluten-free options. And because we asked all the people beforehand, all the campers filled out a survey. What is your eating style, basically? Mm-hmm. And all the campers wrote healthy, no meat. We at camp, everyone was, where's bacon? Yeah. Where is hot dogs? It was so unexpected.
The first meal, it was so scary. We had 5 campers that came up to us and they're like, is it going to be like this? Because we made a mistake of having the first meal be it was lentils. It was so vegetarian focused. There was no meat. And that was the only meal we had that. And they were like, I need meat.
And it was so funny. And active all day long, right? There was so much. And it was a really big, it was scary because people were getting upset and this is not okay. And, and it was a lesson.
We accommodated them. We were they happened to have eggs in the kitchen. And the kitchen was okay, let me whip up some eggs for those people.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. The bacon thing, they had extra from the summer because this is an actual summer camp. And the guy that was heading up the kitchen, he was like, your people ate more bacon than my football teams that come here. And it was just good for us to know. Maybe it's the paleo thing that's going on.
Right. Yeah. But it was so interesting because we thought we did our due diligence and we thought we planned accordingly, but it's
you can't know that. Because that's our customer. They are where's the healthy?
We're the healthiest. And then they're like, where's the bacon?
They got the camp and they're like, screw healthy.
Totally. Yeah. So that was an event that happened. We also at camp, we had some people who freaked out. We had a man, an amazing, wonderful guy, the first day came and he was like, I don't like being in my bunk. I don't feel comfortable. And, instead we didn't even try to, we're like, pitch a tent. Make this your retreat. Do whatever you want. If you don't want to be in the bunk, we'll put you in your own room. pitch a tent. And it's just so amazing that whole like go with the flow, like energy.
You have to when you're doing events.
Especially like this with so many people and so many moving parts, and you're out in the elements. Yeah. And by the end, I mean, he is one of our favorite stories, because by the end of camp, the last night of camp, this shy 40s, 50, maybe late 40s guy, this shy guy who couldn't be in his bunk, gets on stage, a cappella, singing, and everyone.
And he wouldn't stop.
Song after song at the talent show. And the entire audience, all 200 something people, are on their feet yelling, Elliot! Elliot! It was like so amazing, because Allie and I remember that first day when he freaked out. And yeah.
Those who resist the most end up having the most fun.
Totally.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So now let's fast forward. You guys are now putting on 2 events this year, one East Coast, one West Coast. What's transpired since Soul Camp 1? What are you guys up to now? What's changed? What's kind of the next iteration of this?
So this year we're having 2, which we're really, really pumped about. We're having one on the East Coast, one in California. And the East Coast one, we're adding a day. So some things that we learned last year was like, we had so much content and ideas for us to share, and we packed it into 3 days. What we really want is to have more time to be able to people to like have some chill time and like hang out.
They're not actually kids.
We're not like blowing whistles like, okay, everybody, come here. We're adding a concert with MC Yogi, like I said, doing some more all camp so that we get the big group energy type things. And we're expanding in terms of partnerships with other companies, really looking into that.
Yeah.
And
West Coast, it's amazing because we're bringing in all local West Coast teachers and instructors. So, and that's really our vision for Soul Camp period, is that we're going to be continuing to expand the camps, have one in Chicago, have one in Wisconsin, and everywhere where we go, we're bringing in the local statewide instructors from that area.
It was so transformational for the people that were at camp. So that's another thing that's transpired. We just got to see like how many people's lives have been changed by it.
Drastically changed.
We just saw one of our, we had these counselors who are volunteers, and we just saw her yesterday, and she looks like a different person. I mean, like she made massive changes. Her life changed, her career, ended up ending a relationship that was like a really long-term relationship, and now is in a new one, and like just looks like just so different. But one of the things that was so great is that they had then access to these teachers that were in their communities. So most people that came were in the New York area. So they can come in the city now and go to everyone's classes.
Yeah, so, like everyone's classes and all the teachers and instructors' classes and programs are like booked.
Yeah.
Which
so
is
in
amazing.
California, like we want to do that same thing to bring community together there.
Yeah. And, what we've really seen, which is just so wonderful, is that the community, everyone was in different bunks, and like the different bunks have their own reunions. They have their own, like, it's a whole thing.
They had a soul sister reunion.
Yeah. Like
so crazy.
Allie and I not even knowing about it. Right.
Yeah,
like
that's awesome.
And so many people came by themselves. I'll never forget, like one of my favorite moments of ever in my life. What happened, I was like driving around the golf cart, and there was like on my walkie-talkie, and I see this like group of 50-something-year-old women. They're like older women, and they're all like in a group huddle, like laughing. And I like went up to them in my golf cart, and I was like, hi, like what's going on? What's so funny? And they're like, you wouldn't understand. It's a bunk 6 thing. And like, it was like what had been created was literally camp
in 3 days, which is crazy.
Like the head of the camp, the owner of the camp was like, I've never seen this before. He's like, this is insane. Because I mean, we know from going to camp, after 8 weeks together, living in close quarters, you have that type of, it's a bunk thing. Like you wouldn't understand. But after 3 days of like these 4 or 5 50-year-old something women who came alone, it was just so amazing.
Were people picking their rooms? Did they kind of pick a litter? How did it work?
So you can request people. So if you're going with a group, you can say, I want to be with this person. Or, you know, there were couples. So we had a couples bunk.
We had a couples
girls
bunk.
only bunk, and we had co-ed bunks. We're having a highly sensitive bunk this year too.
What does that mean?
That just means if you consider yourself a little more sensitive and you need like the lights out earlier and like more quiet time.
Yeah, a lot of the bunks, you know, like the disco goes until like after midnight. And there were some people that like wanted it to be
and those are the things you learn, and you can make their nuances that we picked up on from last year, and just, you know, we did the post camp survey and really took into account what people were saying about what they needed. So yeah.
Have you already started booking the East and West events?
Yep. Early bird tickets are on sale now. We just launched a week and a half ago,
Nice.
which is so awesome and exciting. And it's already starting. It's starting.
Okay. So we're going to talk about this afterwards, but if people are listening now and want to find out more, want to find out how to sign up for either East Coast, West Coast, where should they go?
Go to www.soul.camp. I say the first part because soul.camp doesn't necessarily go into our minds, but yeah, you can go there and then you can find information about each camp. And then we're also on Facebook, Soul Camp, and Instagram.
Yeah. But it's soul.camp, no .com.
Yeah.
The .com era is over.
That's so funny. We just, for our blah, blah, blah media company, we're BB.media.
Love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it so much. Yeah.
I was like, I'm done with this whole
No more
Buy.coms.
Considering now there's literally a dot anything that you can think of.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dot
who
ninja.
thought there's
You
dot
got ninja.
Say it again.
Dot ninja. There's
Dot ninja. Ooh.
Elon.ninja.
Marketing.ninja.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you can do. So just a complete side story, but we did Triple B, and Better Business Bureau reached out to us and we're like, that's trademarked, and what's your intention with the website?
Oh
and within 2 hours, they gave us permission. We were like, wow, I cannot believe. So
That's
just
amazing.
a side story. Anyway, back to you guys.
That stuff happens though in business.
It does. Listen.
It happens to us.
Yeah, we're not going to name the company, but we were reached out to by another company with the name of Soul, and that has Soul in it.
Yeah.
And
Because we were in the trademark process right now, and it's on hold because
Yeah, that happens too.
yeah, but you can't own Soul.
You can't, really?
You can own your own.
Hopefully, maybe. You can try. Okay, so we covered who this is for, what you guys do, kind of the things that held you back. Michelle, actually, you shared kind of the greatest moment for you. Ali, do you have a greatest moment of Soul Camp, whether during putting it together or at the event?
Oh my God.
So many.
So many. I mean, the one that pops into my head is the last night we did this ceremony where everyone was in the big gymnasium in a big circle, and everyone went around saying like a state. What did it say? Like I am
statement.
Yeah, like I am brave, or like I love this
like
about
who they're
myself.
new.
Yeah, who they're becoming and who they're stepping into. And for us, we were really like in the background the whole weekend. But by accident, Michelle and I, because we were trying to get the circle, to get back towards the walls, we like ended up in the middle, and everyone started clapping for us. We were like, oh my God, like we didn't realize. And that was just a moment that we could take in because we had spent like a year working on this and putting so much love and heart into it and time, and just to receive all of that back was really cool because it was by accident. Like we didn't even try to do that.
Yeah.
So that was really awesome.
Amazing.
And then another one is just like interacting with the campers. And so I had someone that came up to me, this like we keep giving the examples of the older, like this older woman. She was like in her 50s, and she was just like, I can't believe I had to wait my whole life to experience this feeling of freedom. Like she's like, I found it. And she was bawling,
Wow.
and that's it right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's a lot of women there. Is it predominantly women, or is it?
It's predominantly women just because it's wellness, and that's just the wellness industry, period. But I would say, it's 60-40.
Yeah.
Okay.
65.
And we have more male instructors. Like last year we kind of, because again, it was like our friends. So we were like, okay, well, we didn't really think about everything. But now we have more male instructors. And I think there's going to be
a lot more males.
bigger ratio.
Yeah. And a lot of couples are coming. Yeah, which is nice.
Are there spaces for other instructors? Because there might be some listeners who are thinking of reaching out to you, whether they're in other cities and are like, you know what, I'd love to contribute to this.
Yeah.
Reach out.
Yeah, reach out. Not this year, but we plan to continue this and to be expanding. So we keep a list of people to reach out to, especially as we were like, okay, we're going to be in the Midwest next year. So yeah, we are.
Awesome.
We will.
Yeah, so definitely, because I know that there's tons of listeners who do some incredible things, especially in the mind, body, soul world. So, all right, we've come to the end of the interview where I asked the last question.
What is it?
I'm going to ask this of both of you. So there's that cliche of, I wish I knew then what I know now. And you're obviously still very young, but is there something that you wish you would have known X amount of years ago that you would have gone back and told yourself?
For me, I would say sometimes I need to not believe my thoughts, not believe my mind. Because I remember when I was leaving corporate and I had a very big job and all this, and my mind was saying like, no, this is crazy. What are you doing? You're going to fail. It's a recession. Like, why would you leave? You have a mortgage, all of that. Yeah. But inside, I so strongly knew that this was not my life, that like I was in the wrong, that it no longer fit. And so I completely turned, off my mind and went for it. And I think I just spent so many years prior to that not doing that. Yeah. So, and just following my gut, following my soul, no matter how crazy it seemed, has led me to a life that I never in a million years would have imagined ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
So brilliant. So brilliant. It takes years of dedicated work and practice, kind of like going to the gym. I think for women, from what I've spoken to, you guys are much more connected to the soul, to kind of spirit than men. This is just generality. I'm not saying every woman is like this or every
totally.
But I've just spoken. I feel like women innately have a higher sense of intuition, and it's just still amazing to me. With all of that, we still don't listen because everything around us is saying, "No, this is the way you need to live your life, and you should be doing this or you shouldn't be doing that." And we buy into all this bullshit, and then, like, this 50-year-old woman probably for the first time actually connected with that.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of going, oh, shit, what was I doing all these years? What an awesome lesson. Great share, Michelle.
Thanks.
So good.
Allie?
So good. Well, there's two. I always can't narrow it down. One of the main things that I would say is that what you're going through right now is perfect, and it's crafting you to be the person that you need to be in the world. Like,
right.
I know it's hard. I'm so sorry. And keep at it, because your life is going to be beyond what you can even imagine right now, and just keep doing it, because you're learning all the skills that you need later on.
Yeah.
And
great.
Yeah, actually that's the main one.
Yeah. I too experience that a lot, especially when you're coaching entrepreneurs who are starting. They tend to believe that they should be somewhere else.
Yes.
Instead of experiencing the now and learning, like you said, exactly what it is. What I tell people is, as difficult and hard as it seems now, this lesson 5 years from now will be way more expensive and way more painful.
Yeah.
So you may as well learn it now, because it's cheap and easy in comparison to what's coming next.
Yeah, totally. And there's something to be said. I mean, I think for me, I had a lot of, this is really common in the coaching industry. There's like this impatience. You see these people that seemingly have this overnight success, and you're like, why am I not there yet?
Yeah.
But there's a mastery that happens when you're in the work. And I'm not there yet. I'm still also, like you said, I'm young, but like, even just the 5 years I was doing my design work for my clients, I now have this understanding of how to lay out. I like look at events like my like websites, right? There's like this like mastery that I have on understanding all the different pieces that need to be put together, and keeping the bigger picture at the same time. So it's like, you always are learning this. You're always learning the skills that you need to.
Yeah.
Always. have found that, by the way, the great book, I don't know if you guys read it. You were just talking about Mastery. It's called Mastery. It's by Robert Greene. It's absolutely fantastic. But, there's all these studies about what happens. And some people say 10,000 hours and certain level of mastery, et cetera. So I found, and I don't know if this is true for you guys, that somewhere in around between 3.5 to the 5-year mark in some sort of practice that someone is truly passionate about. Not like, I'm not talking about you're going to work and you hate your job and you're just getting a paycheck. Not that. But you're really passionate about something. So say like graphic design, and you spend hours every day, 12 hours a day. I found that somewhere in between 3.5 to 5 years, and all the people that I've interviewed, they went from kind of trickling along and having, almost little to no results to show, to just monumentally it doesn't go like, it's just all of a sudden just ticks up and just skyrockets from there. Did you guys find that in your work experience or in what you've built that you've had this kind of monumental shift at around that mark?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with my, separate from Soul Camp, with my branding and marketing agency, for sure. I'm on year 3 now, and it's insane. It's amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and it'll get crazier.
Yeah.
And just like the ease, like for me, my process has become, it's like before I would just like begrudgingly like sit at the computer and like, oh, like I have to do this. And like now I'm just like, okay, like I know it on another level.
Yeah.
It's easier.
It becomes more instinctual and less thinking. And then I think is when the individual's creativity can actually shine.
Yeah.
Because it takes all that time for the fundamental to be there.
So true.
Awesome. Ladies, let's say again where people can find you. It's www.soul.camp.
Yeah.
Leave the .com in the olden ages. So soul.
Leave it outside the bunk.
Yeah.
All the camp jokes.
And is there anything else you want to share with the listeners before we leave?
Do you have a quote?
Well, I would just take time for yourself to play and get back to a place, even if you don't come to Soul Camp, like do this on your own, like take a break during the day, go out to the park and like kick a ball around and just notice the difference in your productivity and how you feel in your life. I think it's going to like change a lot for you. We like so believe that. And I do that, today I just like went outside and took a long walk and I was like, came back refreshed. Awesome. So
yeah. And what I say, all the time to my clients is, right? There's somewhere in you, where you're going already. Like, it already. And, your mind might tell you a million things and you might question yourself 1,000 times. But if you're able to, like Ali said, go outside, do whatever, take some time to go and listen to yourself, really, not your mind, not the crazy go, but to really go in and listen to what you already know is true. I think that, the answers are there.
Wow. Beautifully said. Or you could just go to Soul Camp and all right, ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And it's been really fun. And for everyone else, look, there are few things in life that can awaken something inside of you. And I'm telling you, and these, like Ali and Michelle shared, going to another seminar where they tell you about what you need to be doing, because you've already tried 7 of them by now. Right. It might not really be the answer. An 8th one might not do it. So maybe try something new. And thank you guys so much for coming on and sharing. And more important, thank you for being people brave enough to create something like that and cause that kind of shift for humanity.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ilan.
Thank you.
Have an amazing, amazing day, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this week's Performance Enhancing Podcast. We've taken this pep talk and created a custom action guide so you know exactly what action steps to take now to grow your business. Just head over to SatoriPrime.com/podcast and download it for free. Also, please leave a comment and rate this podcast on iTunes. It'll help us get the word out. Thanks for listening. Now, go and implement. We'll see you next time.
Did you run through doors till you hit the floor? Did you read my eyes and my aching thoughts? Did you walk through walls till you had to grow?